Level 1. The punching bag. Your story doesn't start in the octagon, or even in a cage. It starts the moment you first push open the heavy door of a local MMA gym. It smells like sweat, wet mats, and old vinyl. You're 20 years old, and you're absolutely certain you know how to fight, just because you punched someone in a bar parking lot once. Reality shatters that illusion in the very first 30 seconds. A guy who looks 45 pounds to 20 kilograms lighter than you catches you in a guillotine choke, and you're desperately tapping the mat, wondering why the world is going dark. Welcome to MMA, where your street bravado is worth exactly zero. Every single training session is a lesson in humility, stretched out over an hour and a half. You get thrown, choked, broken, and forced to rebuild your ego piece by piece every single night. Your ears start swelling up by your second month of wrestling, and you realize with horror that cauliflower ear isn't a joke. It's an absolute certainty. You pay for your gym membership with your own hard-earned cash, showing up right after your work shift, only to be used as a living grappling dummy by the more experienced fighters. But from society's perspective, this looks completely different. To your family and friends, you're a lunatic who willingly volunteers to get beaten up. However, to the newer guys who walk into the gym a week after you're already the guy who knows the ropes. You give them tips, help them with their basic stance, and unintentionally become their very first mentor. Without even realizing it, you're already part of an ecosystem that raises future champions. If you got choked unconscious in 4 seconds on your first day, would you come back tomorrow, or would you close that gym door forever? Be honest in the comments. I really want to know how many of you would survive day 2. Level 2. The amateur. You've spent a year and a half in the gym, and your coach finally looks at you and says the words that make your breath catch. It's time to compete. Your first amateur fight happens at a tiny local promotion, maybe in a high school gym or a warehouse on the outskirts of town. There are maybe 150 people in the crowd, friends, relatives of the fighters, and a handful of local hardcore fans. You don't get paid a single dime for this fight. You paid for your own medical exams, bought your own mouthpiece, cup, and fight shorts out of your own pocket. The weight cut is a special circle of hell that nobody ever warned you about. You're sitting in a sauna, wrapped in plastic sweatsuits, trying to shed the last 4 pounds, 2 kilograms of water weight, questioning why you're even doing this to yourself. But when they announce your name and you start walking toward that cage, the world just freezes for a second. The adrenaline rush is so incredibly powerful that you don't even feel the first punch to your face. You might win, you might lose, but after this fight, you will never, ever be the same person again. Amateur MMA is a brutal, honest test of your breaking point, where there is no money, no fame, and no cameras. It's just you, your opponent, and the chain link fence. From society's point of view, people look at you with a mix of surprise and slight fear. Your coworkers notice your black eyes and bruised knuckles, and to them, you're just that weird guy with an aggressive hobby. But for the kids from rough neighborhoods who show up in the bleachers of these small shows, you are a living, breathing example. That energy can be channeled into something constructive. Every amateur fighter on these local cards is literally pulling 1 or 2 teenagers off the streets, showing them a way out of empty alleyways. Tell me, if you lost your first fight by knockout in the first round, right in front of your entire family, would you take a second fight, or would you hang up the gloves for good? Level 3. The regional pro. You've survived the fire of the amateur circuit, and you finally earned your professional license. It sounds prestigious, but the reality hits harder than an overhand right. Your very first pro paycheck. $500 to show, and $500 to win. Out of that money, you have to pay your coach, cover your flight, hotel, and food. After all expenses, you're actually operating at a loss. You're fighting on shows in small local casinos, under tents, in parking lots, in venues where your shoes stick to spilled beer on the floor. The crowd is anywhere from 200 to 500 people. There's no broadcasts, or maybe it's on a local cable channel that about 300 people are watching. You're working a full-time job as a mover, a bartender, an Uber driver, a bouncer, and you're still training twice a day. Your body is in a constant state of pain, and your bank account balance makes you want to cry. You can't afford a proper, dedicated training camp because that would mean quitting your job for 2 months. But right here, on these godforsaken regional shows, is where true fighter grit is forged in fire. From the outside, you are a hometown hero for your small city. People at the bar where you work say, "Did you see our guy? He knocked his opponent out, cold, in the second round." You give people a sense of pride for their neighborhood, for their city, for their community. Regional promoters rely entirely on fighters like you. Without you, the MMA industry literally wouldn't exist. Now, imagine this. You're 28 years old, you work two grueling jobs, your record is 6 wins and 2 losses, and your girlfriend gives you an ultimatum. It's either the fighting, or it's her. What do you choose? Drop your answer in the comments. There is no right or wrong choice here. Level 4. The second tier pro. Your record is finally impressive enough to catch the eye of a major promotion. Your manager calls and says, Bellator is interested, or the PFL is offering a contract, or LFA wants you for the main event. This isn't a casino parking lot anymore. This is an arena with 3,000 to 5,000 fans, a national television broadcast, your name in the opening credits, and a paycheck that can actually cover your rent. You're making anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000 a fight. It sounds great, until you calculate that you only fight 3 or 4 times a year, and you spend the rest of the time paying for training camps, which also cost a fortune. This is where you first run into opponents who train professionally. Full-time fighting is their only job. They have entire dedicated teams behind them. A wrestling coach, a boxing coach, a jiu-jitsu black belt, a nutritionist, and a sports psychologist. You still have that same coach from the basement gym, and you learn new techniques from YouTube breakdowns. The gap in preparation hits you harder than a head kick. But this is exactly where you learn to think inside the cage, instead of just throwing wild punches. From society's perspective, you finally stop being that weird guy who fights. People start recognizing you around town, and you get your first real sponsors, the local car wash. Barbershop. Imagine you are standing outside a local supplement store, just another face in the crowd. But to the hardcore MMA fans watching the regional scene, you are something special. To them, you're that diamond in the rough, prospect worth watching. They love to track your progress through every amateur fight and regional tournament. They debate online about whether you have what it takes to reach the UFC. You are literally creating the storylines and the drama yourself. You've become the focal point for an entire ecosystem of martial arts fans. Welcome to Level 5. The Contender Series, the gateway to the big leagues. This is the exact moment you've endured. All the blood, sweat, and tears for. Dana White's Contender Series is finally calling your name. It is a televised pressure cooker designed to find the best, where regional fighters from around the globe gather to compete. You get one single chance to change your destiny. The goal is simple. Impress Dana White and win a UFC contract. One fight. One opportunity. All or nothing. You fly to Las Vegas, the city of dreams and broken hearts. And for the first time in your life, you step onto the canvas of the UFC Apex. A tiny, quiet arena compared to what you imagined. An arena that has seen hundreds of careers born and killed in a single night. The pressure is absolutely suffocating. You know that if you lose here, the dream might end. Or even if you win, but it's a boring fight, Dana might not give you the contract you crave. There have been fighters who won their fights decisively and still went home empty-handed, simply because their performance didn't pop for the cameras. You can't just win. You have to destroy your opponent. You have to entertain the viewers at home and force Dana to jump out of his seat. The cameras catch every drop of your sweat. They capture every single strike thrown and every successful takedown you execute. If you get a spectacular finish, Dana White puts a watch on your wrist and says, "Welcome to the UFC." That single moment is the absolute peak for many. It represents the peak of thousands of fighters' lives worldwide. From the outside looking in, the viewer just sees a great show and tears of joy. But behind the curtain of the Apex stand dozens of rejected fighters in the shadows. Fighters who invested their entire life savings into the flight, who poured everything into the training camp, and invested everything into the dream, only to return home with empty hands and a shattered heart. The Contender Series is the most brutal experience. It is honest. The most unforgiving lottery in global sports. Picture this scenario. You knock your opponent out in 30 seconds. The small crowd goes wild for you, but Dana White looks at you and slowly shakes his head. No contract today. Go get more wins on the regional circuit. How would you react to that rejection? Would you break down right there? Or would you go right back to your basement gym, ready to return a year later and destroy everyone in your path? Welcome to Level 6. UFC, the prelim rookie. You finally signed the UFC contract, and you thought the world was supposed to change forever. But the very first thing you see on that contract are numbers that make you want to rub your eyes in disbelief. $12,000 to show, and another $12,000 to win. $24,000 is your absolute maximum. That's only if you get your hand raised in the end. From that total amount, subtract 20% for your manager's fees. 10% goes to your coaching staff. Think about the cost of a professional training camp. Don't forget the costs of flights and hotels and specialized food for your weight cut. You're left with less money than you thought. less than a cashier at a local grocery store makes. You are part of the greatest promotion on the planet, and you can't even afford a decent apartment in Vegas. Your first fight is scheduled on the It's broadcast exclusively on UFC Fight Pass, watched by maybe 10,000 hardcore fans, while the main audience hasn't even turned on their TVs yet. You're fighting in a half-empty arena, where the VIP tables are completely vacant, and the cameras are running at half capacity. One loss in this environment, followed by a second loss, and you're cut from the roster. It happens faster than you can unpack your suitcase. The UFC is a shark tank, and the weak are devoured without a shred of mercy. By the way, before we climb any higher up the UFC ladder, I really need your help. If you've watched the video up to this point, it means this content is truly connecting with you. Hitting the like button and subscribing helps more than you know. Aren't just empty clicks, they are a direct signal to the YouTube algorithm to show this video to thousands of other fight fans who have no idea this channel even exists yet. Without your interaction, this content will just drown in an ocean of videos, and I will lose the ability to create these new levels for you. Hit those buttons right now, drop a comment with your thoughts, and let's keep climbing. But from society's perspective, you are already a massive star. For your hometown, for your family, for your friends. Saying, "My buddy fights in the UFC" is like going to space. You inspire entire gyms in your city, and young fighters actually start believing the dream is real, because you are living proof. Every prelim fighter is the solid foundation that the entire UFC empire is built upon. Tell me, if after 2 years in the UFC you earned less than an average office worker, would you keep fighting for the dream? Or would you quit for a stable, comfortable job? Level 7, UFC, the minecart. You've put together a solid win streak, and finally, your name appears in the official UFC rankings. The top 15 of your weight division. That tiny number next to your name changes absolutely everything. Your paychecks jump to $50,000 to $100,000 a fight. You move from the early prelims to the main card, and now you're being watched by millions of people globally. Major sports nutrition brands, clothing lines, and watch companies start knocking on your manager's door. You sign your first real sponsorship deal, and you can finally train full-time without working a second job. But with the ranking comes the dark side of the sport, the politics. You quickly learn that MMA isn't just about punches and wrestling. It's a cutthroat business, where matchmakers decide who you fight, and one wrong matchup can set your career back by 2 years. You start realizing that talking trash at press conferences is sometimes more important than scoring knockouts in the cage. Fighters who know how to sell pay-per-views and create hype get the best fights, even if their actual skill level is way below yours. It's a bitter pill that you have to swallow in silence. From society's point of view, you are a legitimate, elite, professional athlete. You get invited to sports radio shows, massive podcasts, and local television broadcasts. People ask for your autograph and a selfie at the airport. To the fans, you are that exciting rising contender whose career is incredibly fun to follow. You become a role model for thousands of young athletes who look at you as proof that relentless hard work pays off. Think about this. If you were offered a money fight against a famous but aging veteran, which guarantees cash and fame but doesn't move you closer to the belt, or a quiet fight against a young killer from the top 5, who is incredibly dangerous but opens the path to a title shot, which one would you choose? Level 8, UFC. Top contender. You've cracked the top 5 of your division, and the air around you has become heavy. Every single fight now is a potential title eliminator, a high-stakes clash that decides who fights for the belt next. Your purses reach $200,000 to $500,000, and for the first time in your life, money is no longer a daily stress, but completely different problems take its place. Every opponent at this level is an absolute machine, perfectly prepared with zero glaring weaknesses. Fights at this altitude are high-speed chess matches, played with 4-ounce gloves. One tiny mistake, one slipped punch, 1 second of lost focus, and you can be kicked out of the title picture for years. Injuries become incredibly severe. Torn ACLs, shattered orbital bones, dislocated shoulders. You spend more time in surgeons' offices than you do inside the octagon. The mental pressure reaches a boiling point where even the most hardened fighters crack. Many top contenders have admitted to suffering from crippling anxiety before fights, not sleeping for weeks, and living on the verge of a nervous breakdown. From society's perspective, you are the absolute elite. Every MMA fan in the world knows your name. For sports journalists, you are a constant source of breaking news and deep analysis. You create the content, the drama, and the tension that draws millions of viewers to every PPV event. Economically, you generate jobs for an entire industry. Coaches, promoters, media members, cameramen. But remember this terrifying fact. Many fighters in the top 5 never ever get a title shot. They spend years in this brutal waiting room, constantly hearing just one more win, until their body finally gives out for good. Are you ready to spend 5 years in this violent purgatory, knowing that the championship belt might forever remain a Mirage Level 9 UFC champion? The belt is wrapped around your waist. That solid gold plate reading UFC champion, the most recognized martial arts trophy on planet Earth. The moment Bruce Buffer screams and the arena erupts with the roar of 20,000 fans, that is the peak you've worked for your entire life. Your paychecks skyrocket to $500,000 or even $1 million guaranteed per fight, plus pay-per-view points that can double or triple that amount. Global brands are lining up for endorsement deals. You move out of your rented apartment and buy the mansion you dreamed about as a kid. But winning the belt isn't the finish line. It's the beginning of the most brutal phase of your career. Now, you are target number one. Every single fighter in your division wakes up every morning with one thought: taking your head off and stealing your throne. Training camps for title defenses are 2 to 3 months of pure hell, where you push your body to its absolute physical limit. The pressure from the public, the media, and the promotion crushes you like a vice. One loss, and you instantly go from champion to former champion, and the media starts picking apart your legacy like Volt. From society's point of view, you are a demigod. 2 million of fans around the world. You are the ultimate embodiment of discipline, courage, and human potential. Your story becomes raw motivation for people who have never even stepped foot in a martial arts gym. You prove that a broke kid from a basement gym can stand on top of the world. But here's the question that haunts every champion at 3 a.m. How many title defenses are you willing to take before your body is permanently broken and you have to be carried out on a stretcher instead of walking out on your own 2 feet? Level 10, the superstar. You are no longer just a fighter. You are a brand, a phenomenon, a global cultural event. This is the level of Conor McGregor, Khabib, Nurmagomedov, John Jones, Amanda Nunes. Your paychecks are counted in the millions, $5, $10, $30 million for a single night of work. You own your own whiskey brand, a clothing line, and a massive investment portfolio. Hollywood is offering you movie roles, Forbes writes feature articles about your net worth, and your Instagram has tens of millions of followers. You don't fight because you need the money anymore. You fight because, at this altitude, it stops being a sport and becomes a worldwide spectacle. When you walk out to the octagon, the entire world stops. Bars are packed to the doors, broadcasts shatter records, and betting handles on your fight reach hundreds of millions of dollars. But behind the curtain of this golden empire hides an isolation that is impossible to explain to someone who hasn't been there. Every single friend around you wants a piece of your wealth. Every business partner tries to leverage your name for their own gain. You lose the ability to tell genuine people apart from predators, because they all wear the exact same mask of adoration. From society's perspective, you are a living legend. You inspire entire nations. Ireland worships Conor, Dagestan idolizes Khabib, Brazil prays to Amanda. You literally boost the economy of entire cities when you fight there. Hotels, restaurants, Ubers, flights, everything revolves around you. But the paradox of the superstar is that you can almost never leave gracefully. The public always demands one more fight, one more ASO, and you risk staying way too long, turning from a terrifying legend into a sad parody of yourself. If you had 30 million in the bank, an undefeated record, and the belt on your shoulder, would you walk away at your absolute peak, leaving starving fans forever dreaming of your return? Or would you take one more fight, risking everything just for that adrenaline hit that no business in the world can replicate? Level 11. UFC Hall of Fame. The fights are over. The gloves are hung up. Your name is permanently etched into the UFC Hall of Fame, right next to the greatest fighters in the history of the sport. Royce Gracie, Chuck Liddell, Randy Couture, Anderson Silva, Georges St. Pierre, and the induction ceremony takes place during UFC International Fight Week in Vegas, and you're standing there in a tailored suit, which feels heavy after a lifetime in shorts and hand wraps. The fans give you a standing ovation. Your former bitter rivals hug you, and you finally realize that the war is over. But the morning after the ceremony is the most terrifying. You wake up, and for the first time in 20 years, you have nowhere to go. There's no morning training session, no fight on the horizon, no adrenaline dump. The emptiness that retirement leaves behind is comparable to withdrawals from the strongest stimulant on earth. Many MMA legends openly talk about severe depression and financial ruin after leaving the sport. The injuries you've accumulated over decades of combat remind you of the price you paid every single day. Chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE, destroyed joints, memory loss. Your final, greatest battle is the fight for a high-quality life outside the octagon. From society's perspective, you are a monument. Young prospects study your old fights like textbooks. Coaches show your knockouts to rookies and say, "This is how it's done." You transition into a commentator, a head coach, a promoter, or a motivational speaker, or you just quietly fade into the shadows, enjoying the peace. Your value to society is impossible to measure. You left a permanent mark on sports history that will live on for centuries. But tell me honestly, if you could live this entire journey all over again, from getting choked out in that basement gym, all the way to the Hall of Fame, knowing every single injury, every sleepless night, and every drop of blood you left on the canvas, would you choose this path again? Or would you choose a quiet, safe, painless life of a regular person? Author's brief. You just walked the path from a rookie getting choked out in a basement to a legend whose name is etched into sports history. This journey in reality takes anywhere from 10 to 20 years of relentless training, brutal injuries, and sacrifices that the vast majority of people are simply not willing to make. Out of every 10,000 people who walk into a martial arts gym, only one makes it to the UFC. Here are the facts you need to know about this world. The UFC was founded in 1993 by the Gracie family, specifically to showcase the dominance of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. The very first event, UFC 1, took place on November 12, 1993, in Denver, Colorado, with a grand prize of $50,000. Royce Gracie won the tournament, despite being the lightest competitor on the entire roster. Dana White and the Fertitta brothers bought the UFC in 2001 for a mere $2 million. Today, the company is valued at over $12 billion. There are 12 official weight classes in the UFC, ranging from strawweight at 115 pounds 5'2" kilograms to heavyweight at a massive 265 pounds, minus 120 kg. The record for the fastest knockout in UFC history belongs to Jorge Masvidal, just 5 seconds against Ben Askren at UFC 239. Amanda Nunes became the very first female fighter in history to simultaneously hold championship belts in 2 different weight classes. Khabib Nurmagomedov retired with an undefeated record of 29 wins and 0 losses, one of the cleanest, most dominant records in martial arts history. Today, MMA is officially recognized as a legitimate sport in over 150 countries worldwide, and it continues to grow faster than any other contact sport on the planet. But your journey doesn't start under the bright lights. It starts in the shadows, with nothing but a pair of hand wraps. Every morning at 5 a.m., you're the first one on the mats. The heavy bag is your only companion for the first 3 hours. Sweat drips, muscles ache, but the dream keeps you moving. Soon, you're not just hitting bags, you're hitting people. Sparring sessions turn into amateur fights in high school gyms. You fight for free, just to prove you belong. 3 wins, 5 wins. You become the local hero. Then comes the transition. You're no longer just a hobbyist. You've evolved into the contender. The training camps get harder, the stakes get higher. You're fighting for a spot in the world's biggest promotion. The phone rings. It's the call you've waited for your whole life. Short notice fight, Vegas, next week. The walkout is a blur of noise and flashing lights. The octagon door locks behind you. There's no way out. Round 1. You taste blood for the first time on the big stage. Your eyebrow is split. Your vision is blurred. But you remember the 5 a.m. runs. You remember the grind. You find the opening. A perfect counterhook. The opponent falls. The crowd goes silent, then erupts. Welcome to the rankings. You're number 15. Each fight from here is against a legend. You take them down, 1 by 1, 10, 8, 5. Finally, you're the number 1 contender. The title fight. 5 rounds of hell. The champion is strong. He's been here before. Round 5. 10 seconds left on the clock. You shoot for the dot. You take him down. The buzzer sounds. It's in the judge's hands, and you. The words you've dreamed of hearing. You are the UFC champion. From a white belt to the top of the world. This is your life. This is the UFC. Every legend begins in a quiet gym, far from the bright lights and the screaming crowds. You are the white belt, lean, determined, and ready to sacrifice everything for a chance at greatness. The road to the octagon is long. It is built on sweat, discipline, and thousands of hours of training. You learn to grapple, to strike, and to endure. This is the foundation of a professional fighter. But the UFC is more than just a dream. Today, the company is valued at over $12 billion. To reach that value, the organization created a structure for every type of athlete. There are 12 official weight classes in the UFC, From the lightning fast to the mountain, ranging from straw weight at 115 pounds or 52 kilograms, where speed is a primary weapon, all the way to heavyweight at a massive 265 pounds or 120 kilograms, where power rules the cage. As you transition from amateur to professional, you become the contender. The fights get harder. The stakes get higher. You start noticing the records set by the legends. The record for the fastest knockout in UFC history is a testament to the sport's unpredictability. It belongs to Jorge Masvidal, who changed everything in the blink of an eye, just 5 seconds, against Ben Askren at UFC 239. One strike, and the fight was over. Then there are those who redefine what is possible for their gender and their sport. Amanda Nunes became the very first female fighter in history to reach the absolute summit. She simultaneously held championship belts in 2 different weight classes, a feat of pure dominance. You watch these icons and realize that perfection is possible, though rarely achieved. Khabib Nurmagomedov retired with an undefeated record that remains a benchmark for excellence, with 29 wins and 0 losses. He never gave his opponents an inch of ground. It is one of the cleanest, most dominant records in the entire history of martial arts. Inspired, you push through the pain. You climb the rankings, one victory at a time. Finally, the moment arrives. The title fight. The culmination of every drop of sweat. Today, MMA is officially recognized as a legitimate sport in over 150 countries. It continues to grow faster than any other contact sport on the planet, reaching every corner of the globe. You step into the cage, no longer the white belt, but the UFC champion, gold around your waist. Your journey is complete, but for a new white belt somewhere else, the dream is just beginning.